Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus, King Sunkiss, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, maybe, for a relaxed royale review for Reasonable Doubt, Season 3, Episode 6. And the name of this episode is No Church in the Wild. The Wild, Craig. The Wild. And we open up the episode with a dream sequence, okay? With Monica looking scary as hell tying up your girl Wendy. Howsoever, amongst it being Monica tying up Wendy, it's Ozzy's voice coming up out her throat, telling Wendy that she's a lying ass bitch. Okay, we didn't get Ozzy throwing water in his face, trying to wake himself up, trying to pull himself back together. So that lets us know that this was his dream. We didn't see Monica pop up next to him talking about, it's okay, baby. I got you, baby. Don't worry, baby. So this is supposed to be giving us some indication, I feel like, on what actually happened on that night. Now, important to remember that this is a dream sequence. And we know how dreams, the imagery of it all, the audio of it all, it can be a bit warped, distorted, all of the things. It can also represent fears coming up. It could have nothing to do with the reality of the situation and more to do with fears surrounding the situation. All the while, it could be premonitions. It could also be past life visions. It could also be, memories coming up in variations of forms and all of that good shit. So we got a lot of different options that we can take from our interpretation of this dream sequence and what it means to us and what it means to Ozzy House. And never what I feel like it means is that Ozzy was most certainly at that cabin that night. It did not end with him just walking away and her walking away and he go in the house and he get high and then all this other stuff. I believe that at least a good bit of what Alex said on the stand last episode was accurate. I believe that. And I already said in my previous review that I believe Monica was there too. I believe that we got us a Bones type situation, to be honest. And if you ain't never seen the movie Bones with Snoop Dogg, it involves like just in simple terms, this group betraying their main member and they all like get caught the fuck up and then they band together to kill him ritualistically type shit. Whether it was mindful or mindless, they killed him ritualistically. They all took turns stabbing the body as a way to all have something on each other. But this person, Snoop Dogg's character that is, comes back and hunts the shit out of all their asses. And so, because of course, all the blood was on all their hands. Like, all y'all did it. Y'all thought y'all was all doing it to get away with some shit. But really, that clown came back to bite in dog form. But yeah, I said all that to say. I believe they took Wendy up out of here bone style. Moving on. Now, next scene. We is at this AA meeting celebration where punk ass Paul from Being Mary Jane is doing his thing, talking about he 5 years sober and all this of that in the third. And Jax is there in support, he's telling his story. They talking about all of the things, his claps and hugs and smiles and giggles and all of that great festive shit. So at the conclusion of that, Jax and old punk ass Paul from Being Mary Jane commiserate. His sponsor comes over, his co-collaborator who helps him stay sober and accountable. His sponsor comes on over, gets introduced to Jax. They want to take pictures and whatnot. She like, hold up, let's make sure that we is not doing it for the gram. Let's make sure that we is just doing it for the fam. All right? None of those hijinks, none of those games, all right? Period. So they take their picture and it's all hunky-dory. Real father, real man or something like that. That's what he wants us to think of something. But as Jax concludes and tells him congratulations, now they always say congratulations. Work so hard, forgot to vacation. Have it go. Anyway. So the sponsor then turns around real, heartfelt and intentional like, so, are you going to tell her? You are going to tell her. He wants to know if punk ass Paul from Being Mary Jane is going to tell her. Tell her. Tell her what, Mr. Sir? Tell her what? Because see, I don't believe that he's sober. That he ain't sober. Even though I don't believe that he is thoroughly sober. I believe he been doing at least some weed. I don't believe that he is thoroughly sober. He eating poppy seeds or something. Period. Okay? But also, whatever it is that the truth is, I don't think it's all to do with whether he eating lemon poppy seed muffins or not. I think it has to do with more. Like, I think that's a part of it, and then there's a whole other bag of bananas hitting somewhere by a tree. Now, we proceed to give you R&B mother, because what you need is Jax in the kitchen with Ozzy, trying to ask him and somewhat convince him to ponder about the fact that Monica might have been the one that took Wendy up out of here. He ain't trying to hear it, but at the same time, I'm feeling like it's somewhere on his mind, especially being the dream that he had. But I also feel like he himself is not sure of what to make of the dream. Because I honestly feel like Ozzy had a, theoretical OJ moment and blacked the fuck out. And boom goes the dynamite. And then they, to protect him and everybody else, took Wendy out bone style. But yeah, so like I said, Jax wants to add Monica to the witness list. Of course, she wants her to take the stand. So this is to get Ozzy to agree and cooperate with such things. All right. So he, like I said, is skeptical about it, but Jax encourages him to think about it, ponder on it, and she is laying it on thick, honey. I mean, standing over him like he in the interrogation room and all some more shit. So Bill interjects and it's like, yo, can you excuse me and Jax for a second? He excuses himself, and Bill says, hey, I know Haki agree with Ozzy. Don't you think it's like a huge risk to bring Monica up there, considering her position and also considering the fact that she is an abuser? Jax just is wanting to deflect in any way that she can, as well as make sure that Monica is exposed. And I feel like, while that is definitely something that is needed, and can't blame Jax for that, I also feel like all at the same time, she's projecting her inner child onto the situation. She wants her abuse that she experienced as a child and with her stepdaddy and the gaslighting that she's experienced throughout her life, even up to this point, to be acknowledged. And she wants all of the motherfuckers of her mother fucked up life, those aspects of it, to be exposed and held accountable. And I believe that she is putting all of that energy, because she doesn't feel the strength, the wherewithal, the capacity, the permission, even the liberation, even to direct that energy towards her mother, direct that energy directly towards her father, as well as still have that energy for her stepfather, amongst all the other things. She is directing it all into this situation. It also is reminding me of Tamar Braxton's situation with her niece, and where with that too, I genuinely believe that Tamar was purely intended in helping her niece get the story out there and expose all of the things that need to be exposed. And I also feel like at the same time, Tamar was gathering up all of her inner child's energy and directing it and pouring it all into that situation, because Tamar really wants for those members of her family and everybody else who has abused her and participated in covering up the abuse, trying to silence her and gaslight her and all of that, she wants them to be exposed and held accountable. And like I said, I do feel like it's purely intended at the same time, and at the same time using her niece's situation as well as her niece's voice as a catalyst to pop the top on her own story and on her own shit, for the sake of her own inner child healing as well. So yeah, like I said here, Bill is like, we don't know if we want to do all that, because she's an abuser. Ain't no telling what could happen, and ain't no telling the effect that they could have on Ozzy. This could all start like a whirlwind spiral of a chaotic fucking storm. And so, all that said though, Jax is like, he's a broken child in a man's body, and it's our job to give him his life back. Jax, to a degree, honey, to a degree. I think you in too deep. Don't wanna pull out, but you need to like just pull out some. You can leave a tip in, honey. Just pull out some. Now, Mr. Bill, late night studying and such at the office once again, and he gets strolled up on by Big Daddy White Man and his little daddy, and so they in there instead of trying to pick his mind about Jax and talking about she don't usually play well with others, so we just trying to evaluate if she's the right fit moving forward. Child, honey. Anyway, so Bill contemplates to himself real quick. Then he pops out and is like, look, you ain't necessarily wrong, because Jax is moving real risky. She want to put Monica up on the stand due to Ozzy's complicated past. I'm feeling like that is absolutely not a risk that we should take, like talking about. And she completely bulldozed me on it. Wasn't really trying to hear shit. Wasn't really trying to, what I'm saying, co-collaborate with me on the thoughts and opinions of it all. So they like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. After all, we're just trying to win. Shut up. What you want me to do, Big Daddy? Shut up. I want you to shut up, Big Daddy. So that scene ends. They walk out, leaving Bill there looking a little crazy. And then we pick back up at the house with Babyface Jax. And I love that struggle reviews and the panel that she has together. They call him Faux Lot King. It's so funny and cute to me. They be on Louis' ass. But listen, I be here for Louis. Y'all know I'm going to ride for Louis. Like talking about until I have an absolute, you know what I'm saying, beyond a reasonable doubt reason, pun intended, to not ride for Louis, okay? Period. Boom ticky. Now, so Jax is telling Faux Lot King, shout out to Struggle Reviews and them over there, about, her going to the celebration for the AA meeting and all of that, 5 years sober. And Louis is listening intensively, but also you can tell he like, okay, that's his sponsor. Oh, alright, okay. And Jax is like, yes, he's finally on the right track. And he like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe. And Jax ain't, really picking up on it, but she gets a phone call, and it's them letting her know that your boy Beige Rage, okay? Your boy Beige Rage expressed his beige rage all over his office last episode. So, therefore, he has decided to pull out under the guise of mental health leave. You know something I want to point out here? This brought to my attention that there is a very, very loud theme here about beige rage, okay? From season 1 all the way up to here. I've been seeing some real striking displays and representation of beige rage, and I don't see the same, I don't think the scales are balanced. So there has to be a direct, deliberate expression and spotlight being put on the beige rage of it all. To which I say, writers, what y'all trying to say? okay, what y'all trying to say? Huh? The light skin representation in this show has okay, I'm just saying. I know it, okay? Just think about what I'm saying here and reflect on each of the light skinned characters that we have had and have on this show. I ain't talking about the white people, I'm talking about the light people. The ones that's black like me. Okay? Even Ozzy, he's on the spectrum of beige, okay? Okay? He close to that mid-tone, but he is still on the spectrum of beige. And, okay, it be raging. Okay? So, what y'all trying to say? I see you, okay? I see you, and I see that some things are seen. Looking for y'all, I'm self-aware. Okay? But let's not be too loud, all right? Reasonable doubt? Gosh, don't tell everybody our business. Dang. Now, in the segue from the scene with her and Lewis and she on the phone to the next scene, Lewis is looking back at the picture that Jax took with her daddy and the sponsor, and he remembers that the sponsor nigga, quote unquote, that is in the picture with them is the same dude from a picture that he took of Eddie and that dude when he was stalking them. Which indicates to him, and I feel like indicates to me as well, that your boy is not his sponsor. And even if he is his sponsor, he might be sponsoring more than what it is they talking about. Nah, like I said, we get on back to Jax at the office with the partners, all right? And Big Daddy and Lil Daddy is once again shooting curveball questions at Jax. And she's talking about she more than prepared for the defense. And now that Beige Rage has stepped out for mental health reasons, and she says this in a way that indicates also that that Big Daddy and Lil Daddy don't know, about Beige Rage and his Beige Rage. Okay? So when she says this, that he pulled out for mental health reasons, she says it in a way like she's covering for him. So I just wanted to pinpoint that because I feel like that's important, because I feel like it also shows a black solidarity as well amongst because I feel like Beige Rage, and I mentioned this in some episodes back when he was interacting with Bill specifically, there was some light bright white dick swinging type shit going on. Yes, and that was giving me indications that Beige Rage might have some color complexity, color struck, colorism type issues as well. And that being said too, I feel like it says a lot that regardless to any of that, any differences that Jax and Beige Rage have, probably ever had, whether we've seen it or not, all of that, things are underlining in body language, in the mean times, in between words, the shit that they say and don't say, all that shit. Yeah, despite any of that, Jax still showed solidarity and protected him to some degree by not just putting it out there. Well, he threw a temper tantrum because he didn't enjoy what happened in court and he fucking destroyed his office and he had a fucking bitch fit and decided to quit the cave. She said he needed mental health leave. And I feel like that's a cool thing of Jax as well. And I do wonder if we're gonna get Beige Rage back into the picture at any time. But yeah, so as Beige Rage has pulled out Mike Ortiz, that's the exotic white man. So in case y'all don't know, I call the other lawyer guy Mike, I call him exotic white man. Okay, so we got Big Daddy and Lil Daddy, which is them partners, the main partners that Jax be having beef with. And we got exotic white man, which is the other lawyer man, that's the white man, but he kind of looked like not like a regular white man. And we got Beige Rage, okay? And Beige Rage, his name is Chad, right? Okay, and it's the light-skinned man with the light eyes, and he was the original prosecutor of the case. So yeah, now that Beige Rage is out, exotic white man is stepping in as the new prosecutor on the case. Okay, so Big Daddy is like, all right. Exotic white man is gonna raise the stakes for y'all. Bill say, look, we ain't worried, all right? Don't even worry about it. Okay, so Big Daddy popped back and is like, so we hear you got a strong set of witnesses. And Jackson's like, well, I do want to put his agent on the stand. Big Daddy say, oh, really? Someone who negotiates for a living could be a liability. You know, that's a good point, Big Daddy. Lil Daddy is like, so, yeah, that being said, I think that's like real risky. You think it's a risky you want to say? You know, that's real risky. Okay, yeah, you too. Everybody here meet Mr. Me Too. That's why your name Lil Daddy, Lil Daddy. So, Jax is like, well, my client could spend a majority of his life in prison, so I don't think now is the time to be playing it safe. Big Daddy said, well, the last time you took a risk, the damn witness bombed and almost jeopardized the entire case. Jax said, well, look, that ain't gonna happen this time, right? Monica Wilson isn't the client, okay? And Chanel Tucker, voluntary manslaughter case, basically, you know, she ended up getting no jail time, regardless of the fact that she was found guilty. That was still a win. Yeah, it was, you know, yeah. It was definitely a double-edged sword. But all that other shit was not her fault. They were trying to protect the kid. So there's that. Again, bro, Jax is protecting every fucking body, bro. Jax is protecting everybody, bro. And this is why I go so hard for Lewis, because it's easy to be like, well, who is protecting Jax? Lewis. Lewis. And people be mad at him for stalking and all this other shit, but it's like, that's what he has to do to protect a person like Jax. When you are with someone who is tunnel vision and their protector energy and their role and their purpose as a protector, so much so that they like fall short in protecting themselves, and all at the same time are very, 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 very resistant to allowing others to protect them, and it's like also a part of a trauma response. Like, it makes sense. Like, ain't nobody else in the world for Jax for real but Lewis, bro. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like there are certain people who have like OCD tendencies, right? But it's like if they didn't have those tendencies, certain things literally wouldn't get done in the way that they get done, right? And so Jax is one of those people, and also Lewis is also one of those people. If Lewis wasn't who he was, Jax couldn't be who she is. Like, it's very easy for us to be like, oh, Jax funds his life, and Jax is the breadwinner, and Jax is the boss, and Lewis don't have no spine, he don't have no voice, and da-da-da-da. Well, he do got his heart and that good Taurus energy of determination and protecting who the fuck he really loves and care about. And he may not do it and or be able to do it in the way that everybody else expects him to do it as a man, but he gets it done, motherfucker. Period. So yeah, Jax, in this moment, you know, she wrapped up that conversation successfully, right? Kind of how I felt about her making that statement. Like, you know, Chanel was found guilty, but she didn't get any jail time, you know, for the reasons that were reasonable. She's been abused and shit. All that. So much like how I felt at the conclusion of that, it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's something about that still doesn't feel right? And so much like that paralleling of a feeling of, for Jax in this moment, it's like her saying that statement left a bad taste in her mouth, and it paralleled with the position that she's in, with also realizing something does not sound and feel right about this interaction, this experience, this exchange. Something is not right. Picking up on the fact of they know something, someone is hiding something. Bill. Done spill her tea behind her back. Yep. She smell the bullshit. She smell it. She don't know where it's coming from exactly, but she smell it. Now, back to Bill. He's trying to get his wife to go out to dinner with him. She's giving him a hard time about the time, but he ended up being like, okay, look, okay, whatever you want. We'll do it early night. I'll find a good place. I'll find something good. We'll work it out. All right, so they're gonna work it out. Now, Jax comes in, and she asks him straight up, you been running off at the mouth about the case behind my back? He said, no, I'm a lawyer man. You know how they are when it comes to high-profile cases. Child, he laying on thick. It's appalling that they're questioning you. I can see how it would make you paranoid. And Jackson's like, yeah, it does. Bitch! Bill, I see myself fucking you up. Okay? He segues the conversation to letting her know that he gonna need to be less on his phone and laptop for the night because, you know, he going out with the wife. So that means that he also got to get back to cramming his work so he can be on time for that and completely zoned and locked in. So Jax leaves, still looking like she smells some hints of bullshit, but a little more calm than she was before. This man is taking a deep breath. No, I'm not going to call him a man. I am going to refer to him as the bitch ass nigga that he is in this moment. Bitch ass nigga Bill, that's finna be your name until further notice. You are guilty as charged as bitch ass nigga Bill until and unless you earn back your innocence. Cause this is some bitch ass nigga shit, bitch ass nigga Bill. Psh. Now, we get to Jax and Lewis in therapy with their therapist. They got to give some updates on where they at personally and in their relationship. So, Lewis's parents is coming into town, and they are gonna have a late lunch and early dinner. They got some concerns because Jack's mama is an oversharer, wild, inappropriate, and they have this, notion that Lewis' parents is like the Huxtables, picture perfect, black excellence. Jack feel like her folks ghetto. It's giving like the reverse of Trudy Proud's family and Oscar Proud's family, I guess, or like Gina family versus Martin's family on Martin. But yeah. So this also brings up some confirmation about something I said a few episodes ago, where I feel like Jax be jealous and resentful of Lewis, the way that she needs him, certain ways that she desires him, likes him. I think she's resentful of the ways that he is able to love and take care of her and protect and provide for her in the ways that he does. And I know that sounds crazy, but there are people like that who have this intense, wounded lack mentality, and they know that they need help, but they're so wrapped up in that rageful delusion that if anybody helps them in any type of way, even if they know that they may perform gratitude for it, but deep down they're resentful that someone else was able to help them in a way that they weren't able to help themselves. It makes them feel guilty, and they end up misdirecting that energy towards people who were there to just be good to them. And it's like Ryan for Lewis again, like, no, he's not the breadwinner. No, he's not the most outspoken. He don't string his words together, ever so charismatically all the time and this, that, and the third, but he's good. He good to her. And not just good to her, he is a good person. Like, he is literally a good, kind, pure-hearted person. And sometimes people love to, like, downplay and talk down on people who, don't have the capacity or the heart to clap back with mean and nasty insults and shit. But just because that's not their strength doesn't mean that they aren't strengthful. Okay? Snap the fuck out of it. Because I feel like also, there's also this theme, and I forgot like what the technical term is for it, but this theme of women being attracted to men who are criminals, or men who have the aesthetic or essence of being a thug or gangster or criminal, and that being associated with masculinity, that being associated with being a protector and being protected, when in actuality that hyper masculine, toxic masculine energy is what gets you caught up in shit. Like, someone protecting you is also preventing shit for you to get caught up in, not just them stringing you along into a bunch of chaos and so happen to being able to protect you in the process. That's like, quick story time real quick. I was in a relationship with this dude, and he and I were in a car accident, hydroplane off the highway in the rain, and he protected me. If not, I probably could have went through the windshield. I probably could have hit my head on something, been up out of here. But, as big as he is, and his first reaction also was to throw himself in front of me to block all impact, right? And for a while, I gave him a lot of credit for that. And eventually, I had to snap the fuck into a Slim Jim and be like, hey, we real life wouldn't have been in that position had he listened to me in the first place, and we stayed home, and his ass not be out drinking and fucking driving. And so it's like, much like, the energy that Jax tends to give, and the energy that certain people tend to give, women in particular, in their responses to the men on this show, amongst others, but especially on this show, especially in comparison to how they speak about and on Lewis, it's like, you get caught up and lost in the sauce of, oh my gosh, they protected me through all this chaos. Then you forget that they also brought the chaos. That they picked you up and threw you right into the chaos, so it really doesn't matter that they ran in and pulled you out. There's a term called match pump hero for a reason. And that's a manipulative, narcissistic person that starts fires just so they can come back and put it out and be the one to say, hey, I did that. I put out the fire. Bitch, you started it too. You don't get a fucking reward for cleaning up your mess. So yeah, channel message in the midst. Don't just seek the man that is protective in the midst of chaos. Seek the man that is so protective that they also prevent it. And yeah, we can talk about Lewis and his, side babyisms and all of that, but let's not start in the middle. Jack started all that shit and brought all that shit in there. It's Jack that's been creating the fucking chaos. And a lot of people don't want to admit that because they got to be on the woman's side. And I am not no pick me bitch that's, always like, oh, the women. But in a lot of cases on this show, the women be fucking up. Jack be fucking up and bringing shit upon herself and everybody else. Her mama be fucking up and bringing shit upon herself and everybody else. Sally fucking up and bringing shit upon herself and everybody else. Chanel fucking up and bringing shit upon herself and everybody else. And I'm not talking about her being abused. I'm just talking about like the meantime and between time of that shit. And her being her. Like her even going over to Chris's house last episode. Like, shut up sometimes. But this is also, I feel like the women feeling forced into their hyper masculine energy. They feel forced to take all of this drastic action. And in actuality, if you would trust yourself enough to just fucking stop and let some shit just fall apart, or let some shit just fall and you might see it fall into place. Hey now, but we'll pop up off the soapbox for now as we proceed to give you R&B mother, because what you need is bitch ass nigga Bill at dinner with his wife. And she look good, honey. Her hair is laid to the gods. And they got smiles on their faces, roses in places, peonies to be exact, okay? Her favorite flower, he finally got it right this time, all right? So he paying attention. So he ordered him a bottle of champagne, and she called him fancy, huh? So, I'm acting a fool, let me focus. So she asked him about work. He like, look, no, let's not talk about work. I think that's your job. She said, oh, wow, okay. You rarely ask me about my job. I'm talking about my job. Now he like, no, that's not true. Hey, let's focus. You want to ask her about her job, just continue to keep the focus on her job. Don't start an argument, all right? Don't start an argument. But he knows that she tends to have this same shit, different day type of attitude. And I be having mixed feelings about this because she very likely has every right and reason to feel like same shit, different day when it comes to him. At the same time, at a certain point, you have to start making a definitive decision about if you want a different type of day and what does it take for that. And as you go into that different type of day, do you want to take this same nigga with you? Are you even open to, thinking or believing that he could be different, changed, things of that nature? Now, where I'm at with it right now is that bitch ass nigga Bill is exactly that. So it's giving her antennas is firing on all cylinders, all right? She got every right and reason to feel like same shit, different day. All the while, like I said, if you keep that mindset, then it'll always just be that. Even if not with Bill, you'll just attract bitch ass nigga Bill in a different skin. Same spirit, different skin. Same shit, different day. Tisk. So, as I continue on their conversation, they get into the conversations about the kids and their accomplishments and events and all of that, and talking about when it was in law school and all these other things. So, this indicates to me that they have had, I feel like this is given that they've had like a competitive type of relationship, because there's a lot of focus and bonding over bullet points of milestones, special events, major leaps, things of that nature. And that can be dangerous because sometimes life is just life, like good or bad, indifferent. Sometimes like you're just living and you just being and you're just going with the flow, and you're not doing all of the pomp and circumstance and bubblegums and roses and all of that. You're just going day by day, and it doesn't have to be bad, but that can also be peace. It can also be peace. But if you don't have a sense of self-worth that's not attached to checking off boxes, then that peace will feel like chaos to you, because it'll feel like you're failing. It'll feel like you're purposeless, like you're being useless and lazy, like you're not doing anything with your life, like nothing is going on, you're not making any progress, like why are you here? And some people take that energy into their relationships, like when it's not all strawberries and peaches, long walks on beaches and shit all the time. They start to thinking that it's issues in a relationship, or they start to thinking, oh, this must be bad, or it must be going downhill, or we must be boring, or whatever. And it's like, no, it's just not a reality that things are always popping off. And some people end up starting fights, just causing issues. It just can lead people to cheating for no good reason, or just literally starting fights over tops off of the toothpaste. And to be honest, that parallels, a bit of Jax and Lewis's dynamic also. And I do feel like that could also be a reason why Jax has, caused chaos and started shit in her relationship and in her marriage as well, because at certain points, it probably just got a type of peaceful that wasn't about checking off boxes, or bottles of champagne and candlelit dinners and all of that, Instagram worthy stuff, whether you post it or not, something to say that you did it, something to satisfy the audience in your head. When all of that is not going on so consecutively, you start thinking, oh, this relationship ain't shit. Now you gotta spice it up by causing a fucking fight so that y'all can have makeup sex and makeup dinners and makeup gifts, and now you get into pomp and circumstance and all of that shit, and long walks on beaches and strawberries and peaches and all that shit back into the frenzy. Doing shit for attention. Doing shit just to say that you did it so that you can do more shit just to say that you did it. You see? Yeah, tisk. So they are, like I said, having their bonding moment over these memories about the such things. And this leaves us off in the scene with perhaps they could be drawn closer together. And then also it's still like a question mark of, Does the wife really want it? Mm-hmm. Now, we get back on over to Ozzy's house. Monica is knocking at his door, and she pissed because she done got summoned to take the stand. Mm-hmm. And Ozzy up here, smoking a blunt. He like, look, today my birthday. You think I want to hear this shit? I ain't trying to hear this shit. Okay? He talking about you can kiss. He told her she can kiss his ass. But he being real coy with her. He like, what? You got something to hide? Why you so mad? What's wrong? You need a cape so you can be super mad? Like, what's the problem? What else is going on? And she freaking the fuck out. And he like, why you getting so defensive, okay? Like, if you ain't did nothing, then you ain't got nothing to be worried about. You told me not to worry, that you would take care of things. So, take care of things. Is you taking care of things? What the fuck is going on? She like, hold up. Okay, hold up. You see a baby coming to you. What's the hold up? I know good and motherfucking well you ain't coming at me like this. Did you? Take your girl Wendy up out of here. Because I found a fucking bloody sweatshirt in your shit. Found it in your room, honey. And you know what I did? I took care of it because that's what I do. He said, like you took care of Wendy. Hoo. She said, ha. You know, the critics doubted yo thespianism as a child star. But honey, this shit right here is Oscar worthy. He said, I didn't kill Wendy. Honey, she ain't buying it. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't buying it either. Monica ain't shit. But I done already said what I believe. So, it's some more folks knocking at his door. And it's his friends Bear, Hopper, and Indy coming out in with some bottles and balloons, and they there to help him celebrate his birthday. And he gonna be real shady and disrespectful and commanding to Monica, talking about, titties and ass, bitches and hoes, please, wrangle them. Okay. So, y'all already know it's up and stuck. They finna get into some pomp and circumstance of it all, and all the while, Ozzy is going to be trying to piss Monica off and, no pun intended, dig the knife in. And now, we get back over to bitch ass nigga Bill and his wife, dropping her off, and he wanna know if he can go inside, you know, for a little bit. They commiserate, kick it, continue to vibe, all them things. She like, look, pump your brakes, okay? Hold your horses, keep them in the stable. I ain't trying to ride. Keep your horses in the stable. I ain't trying to ride, okay? Because you here today, and then the next 6 months, you ain't. 363 nights, and 2 of them is me and you. Only 2 of them. Child. And she said she done contacted a divorce lawyer. She ready to sign them papers, and he is ready to melt in the goddamn driveway. Child. And to be honest, child, it's like she making a decision that she don't necessarily want to make, but she feel like she have to make. And I feel like that says a lot. That says she's not bitter. She's not jaded. She just got to do what's best. She just thoroughly locks in on what is best for her. Not just her, but, you know, also the kids and the stability of things. She want to get out of that same shit, different day. And she don't believe that he going to step into them different days committedly, like how he talking like he would. And even if he do seem like she ain't got the capacity to, like, you know, it's giving faith burnout, hope burnout. She ain't faithful in him no more. She done lost all hope for him. Child. Sad. But when a woman's fed up, it ain't nothing you can do about it. Hey, and it's too late to talk about it. Oh. Poor little tink. Poor bitch ass nigga Bill. Oh, the fuck will. Because that's what you get. That's what you get. The ancestors were not proud of you stabbing our girl Jackson in the back. You don't go over there and disrespect and disregard one black queen and then come over here and think that you gonna conquer another black queen. Oh, the ancestors said, not on my watch. And step on. You black heifer, you stand your ground. So you don't stand up for yourself, people think you stupid. Y'all better listen to Sister Grandma at the end of them songs. Because some of y'all skipped over it, and it shows. Now, as we proceed to give you R&B mother, because what you need, and what you need, as this integrated, maybe that's not the best word. Because interracial is what we just had with bitch ass nigga Bill and his wife. Let me just, okay. What you need is Jackson Lewis. Jackson Lewis. Family lunch, dinner, whatever it is, right? So, it's actually going good, right? The parents is participating with each other, having good conversation, all of the things. And then we're going to reveal that Lewis's parents ain't like, they not like sleeping in the same bed, and they finna not be living in the same house, and they selling his childhood home. They still together, but they just not, they not carrying it on in the traditional sense, like, you know, how they been doing. And Lewis is perturbed by this, and that's like, you know, very interesting considering. But he got this, you know, of course, this ideal of his parents and who and how they supposed to be. In the midst of this conversation as well, it is telling, you know, background stories about some famous musician that he saw. Lewis ain't trying to hear that shit, but he's amusing Lewis's parents because they were at one of the shows that it is describing. So we got another bond here. I pinpoint that because this is something else that is ruining Lewis's fantasy of this dinner as well as his parents. But Jax is happy because she is proud of basically how well they're getting along and how well they're blending together. Now, we get back to Ozzy and them back at the party. Now, I am not going to linger too much in this. So, of course, he going ham for their fam. The girls that's going ham for their fam. The strippers and all of them, they doing the most. Ozzy, take one of the strippers to the back and take her down. Yeah, he had to take her down and show her what he about. And in the midst of this, Monica sexually assaults him. Some of y'all gonna be like, what? No, she did not. What are you talking about? What she did was sexual assault. He did not consent to that. Also, the girl that was there, she didn't have no idea that Monica was in the background doing what she was doing. Also, all of that was sexual assault as well as the purpose of this scene. And I thoroughly appreciate them showing this scene, doing this scene, and doing it in the way that they did it, because it shows a different way that people can be sexually assaulted. Yes, this is a form of sexual assault. Y'all go fishing, baby. Okay, if you don't know what I mean when I say that, little backstory on my social medias, that's a consistent part of my outro. You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man a fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Y'all go fishing, baby. So if you hear me say go fishing, baby, you know, what's understood don't have to be explained. Go do your own research. So yeah, she starts to sexually gratify herself in his eye view to him and the stripper doing their thing. He has this conflicted release from the experience, and this is another way to something I want to pinpoint. A lot of victim survivors end up having like this internal guilt and conflict if they experience any form of arousal or if they reach a climax from the assault. And so it's very important that they included this too, because it shows him getting off from the experience of the assault and still being traumatized by it. Because, and I'm finna use the term that I'm not using it to be disrespectful, I'm using it to be simply stated. After he has his release, I just giggled like that because I have it planned as I do the review, just in case I need like any reminders as I'm speaking or whatever. And so I started giggling because once he starts to have his release, Monica starts to giggle because she's feeling accomplished in her being able to take control over him in this situation, conquer him, sexually assault him, even in this moment, even without touching him, even without entering the room, like talking about. And not only influencing him in that way, but influencing a bitch fit out of him to the point where he tosses the girl completely off of him onto the floor and starts raging the fuck out of her, screaming at her to get the fuck out. So, not only controlling his sexual experience to the point of getting him to climax from something that he is not consenting to, and bringing the abuser out of him all at once. Evil! And this is also a major reason, just another major like thing on my list as to why I feel like Monica did not kill Wendy. I feel like she's not the, leading force of who killed Wendy. Like I said, I believe that it was done bone style type shit, I don't believe that Monica was the leading force of it. And it's because she seems to get much more gratification of ego and power, her perspective of power, from being able to have influence hands off. Having a hands-off, hands-on approach. It's so fucking skillfully hands-off that you feel like you think she done touched all over you. Very, you could say telekinetic, telepathic, if you will. But also, she's a sociopath. Okay, pick them parallels. And this is not to say that like every person or people who have telepathic or telekinetic type of gifts are sociopaths. Is when people take their gifts in dark form excessively, they become sociopaths and or narcissists and or certain other paths that are not good. Not to be confused with empaths. They become dark empaths. Dark empath is another term for an evil magician, or an evil psychologically powerful person, or evil spiritually powerful person. Okay, an abuser of the such. Sexual abusers are often spiritual and psychological abusers, one way or another. They abuse in ways that hit your soul and your psyche more than anything. They don't focus so much on physical pain. They want to hit you up generationally. They want to hit you up soulfully. They want to hit you up so hard that it follows you into different lifetimes, into your kids and your grandkids and all of that shit. So I say all of that to say, again, that's another reason why I feel like it's not Monica that was the leading force on that, because I feel like Monica would feel like dropping Wendy up off of here in such a way would be too easy. Now, we are back in the courtroom, and it is Kristen on the stand. Exotic white man is asking all the questions now. So he asking, how often you talk to him, how often you talk to your brother. She said, every day, you're my goofy little brother. We like this here, we like best friends, all that shit. But he's like, oh, okay, so did you talk to him the day that Wendy was taken up out of here? She said, sort of. To which exotic white man says, do you recognize Exhibit 21? She said, yeah, it's a text record. I unsent 2 text messages to Ozzy. Ooh. He said just 2 hours after Wendy's death. What that was that you sent, girl? What that was that you sent and unsent? What that was? She said, are you okay? I love you no matter what, and I know it's not your fault. Ooh. He said, what wasn't the defendant's fault? She said, that he wanted to fire our mom and dad as his managers. Ozzy was making faces and shit as she's saying this. But she was like, he was trying to make a decision because, he wanted to be independent. He wanted to move on. I didn't, He was like, so you unsent your support. She was like, I didn't unsent my support. I just wanted to know. I would talk to him in person, and I didn't want him to feel guilty or feel like anybody was talking bad about him behind his back. And I just didn't know. And he was like, oh, you didn't want him to feel guilty. And she's like, no, not guilty. You don't want to feel guilty about killing his girlfriend. Got you. Honey. Now Jax is getting up in an attempt to go pick her up and pull her together and put her back together, honey, because she just completely fell the fuck apart on the stand, honey. So she like, look, I'm just nervous. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to mess up. And Jax is like, it's okay. Just breathe. Take your time, okay? Some tissue, all right? Now, why did you unsend the text? She said, I realized that he would know that our parents called me and told me what happened, and I just didn't want him to feel like it was 3 against 1. That's the only reason, I swear. So Jax is like, thank you. No further questions, Your Honor. Now, exotic white man pops back up and it's like, hey, Mr. Edwards' decision to fire your parents, that was a surprise to you or nah? So she said, look, he wanted to take his career to the next level. And I got that, but I felt like he was being a bit hasty, impulsive, moving too fast, trying too hard. He said, oh, impulsive, huh? Is that typical behavior for your brother? And they trying to object. He said, look, Your Honor, I'm just asking based off what she said. That's a word she said. The judge wants him to rephrase his question. I don't fucking understand why. Because because Jax objected saying speculation. What you mean? That's not speculation. She used the term impulsive to describe him. He said, oh, is that typical behavior? He's already asked, did you talk to him? Did you talk to him every day? Okay, so she's supposed to be like a character witness, right? He's gathering information, consistencies, patterns, and such about Ozzy's character, his personality traits. So I don't see how it's speculation that they've already asked questions to lead up perfectly to this question based on what she said. Is that typical behavior for him to be impulsive? I don't see how that is something to object on, talking about speculation and he has to rephrase his question. But okay, maybe we're just having sympathy for her because she look how she looked and she crying and shit. Anyway, so he like, okay, all right, you're gonna rephrase the question. So he said, you said that Mr. Edwards can be impulsive at times. What does that mean? She said it doesn't mean that he killed Wendy. I know my brother and that's not who he is. He says, you would know, right? Because you talk to him every day, except conveniently the day that the woman he was in love with went missing. And what you did send on that day, you unsent. Interesting. So she like, you twisting up my words. You making it sound like I'm saying that he did something that he didn't do. No. He's piecing together that you are an enabler. That's basically like what is coming together for it. That you're an enabler. That he lacks control over himself. Okay? He lacks self-control. And you're one of his handlers. And all the while, you're an enabler. Okay? So, as they're going through the throes of this, and, he's steady asking the questions, and he finally asks, do you believe that Ozzy killed Wendy? She says, no, I don't. And then he says, but if he did, would you even tell us? And Jack says, objection, argumentative. And he cuts it there. And I believe, honestly, that final question was rhetorical because, like I said, that's what he was getting at in the first place, piecing together the pattern and indications that Ozzy lacks self-control and she is his handler / enabler. So finalizing it with the rhetorical question of, even if he did, and even if you believe that he did, would you even tell us that? So he shitted on her credibility as a character witness. Tisk. And so, whoo, child. Honey. She just got turned every which way but loose. And that also shook Jax up. So we know that was a win for them, a win for the prosecution at that rate. But like I said, Kristen is storming out. She is frazzled, honey. She is shook. Yes! I like the shirt that she got on too. But Daniel comes out. He's like, hey, come with me. He's going to pull her on over to the side so that he can counsel her and soothe her and calm her down. Let her know how you did fine. Don't sweat. Chill. It's perfectly understandable. All right. You okay? Okay. She's like, no, I fucked up. You did fuck up, girl. You did. And he's like, don't worry about it. It's a small part of the case. Child, yeah, okay. So in the midst of this though, Crystal sees their interaction and exchange. They hugging and commiserating and compassionating and all of that. So this made me feel like Miss Crystal is fixing to go run that trap. She's gonna go spill that tea. But before we pick up on that, we pick up on Miss Monica walking in looking damn good in this dress. This dress she got on is cute as a motherfucker. Anywho, she stepped in there to talk to Jackson. So Jax is coming with a whole different energy this time. She want to butter her up to get her up there on the stand. And so to butter her up, she's playing on her ego. She's doing what I was thinking and saying that she needed to do the first time. Don't show all of your cards. Don't let her know that you done sniffed her out. Don't let her know that you know all the things that you know. Play on her ego. And so, like I said, that's what she's doing this time. She like, look, I know that you one of the baddest to ever do it for Ozzy, honey. You be doing all of the things. You be making all of the things shake. You be shaking all of the tables and flipping them and building them, and you bring everything to them, okay? The first, last supper, infinitive suppers and all of the things, all right? You that girl, that nigga, and that bitch, okay? All of them. She, him, they, them, all of them. She would tell her she was right about calling her out, about being a gutter snipe, scandalous, bloodthirsty biatch, straight up out the hood. And all of that went through, seemingly successful, honey. Monica is feeling herself. Now, mind you, this is also off the backs of her, conquering what she feel like was Mount Everest over there with Ozzy, right? So she's feeling bucked up off of that. To now walk in and see, Jax is afloat in her boat. So this make her feel extra like, and I ain't gonna lie, this is some witchy ass energy. Like, people really do be doing witchy ass shit, even if they're not mindfully thinking, I'm putting a spell on bitches. Because she could very well feel like, oh, you see that energy I put out into the earth? You see that energy I put out into the ether? Now look, all these bitches bound down. All these bitches is my sons. All these bitches eating out my hands. All these bitches floating my boat. Crazy heifer. So we can expect to see her on the stand. Child, just looking out of the window, watching the sky go. Finna see how Monica put it down. Hey, yeah. Tisk. But child, as we proceed to give you R&B motherfuckers what you need, and what you need is Jax out late night sipping and dipping with Sally. And so they are, talking about her woes at work and everything going on with the tangs. And she also puts special notice on her changing of her style of braids, because at first she was going with the, I'm gonna say, for lack of better terms, white girl friendly braids, the braids that the white people at her job would find comfortable and safe. And she has switched it to the, full sleek box braids, okay? The straight up, all right? Ain't no meantime in between time, but some of the loose straight hair, all over the thing. It's all braided, honey. It's all braided. Poetic justice, ho. Phenomenally outlet, and still we rise. So they have a toast to taking their power back. straight up, right? And in the meantime, in between time, they look on over their shoulder, honey, and see bitch ass nigga Bill. And he comes on over, baby. Talking about, I ain't expect to see you on this side of the hill. She said, well, my girl Sally lives in the valley, and so he is here and queer, baby. And so they commiserating in all of the things, and he gonna join them, but he got to go on back over to his table real quick and gather his things so that he can make that exchange. And Jax is like, hey, you, Miss Hot in the Pot, you need to calm down, because that is a married man, Savannah, okay? A married man. Sally don't get no fin up. She don't get no fin up. That's another red flag. I'm telling y'all, Sally ain't shit, and I feel like we are being built up to see and experience and witness the full expose of how much Sally is not shit. Also, this here is also making me feel like there's another inevitable death coming from some form of adultery. Even though he's separated and they're about to get a divorce, let's not forget that adultery is not just fucking somebody else. Cheating is not just fucking somebody else. It's about functioning in lies, leading with lies. Also, there's another form of infidelity that's already happened as far as like Sally squandering the house and all that against her husband's wishes. All of that. Also, the way that she's handling the separation and pitfalls of it and all of that shit. All that shit goes in there together. Also, Sally's intent, because in this moment, again, she doesn't know about the separation, and even with her feeling like even with her having the idea that there's a woman at home waiting for her good man Savannah to come home to her and be the good man that he is to her, she's still like, oh well, I want to fuck, so just constantly showing that she don't give a fuck about vows to God, let alone to the people involved in those contracts. Okay. Y'all, it's gonna be crazy. So Jax tries to give Bill the signal to get the fuck up out of there. Bill gets the fuck up out of there. But then Jax ends up going to the bathroom, and Sally ends up taking her phone and taking Bill's number out of it and hitting him up herself. So they end up getting into the hanky panky later on. Slat. And now it's time for Monica to take a stand. Monica has on this blue, look like suede denim hybrid type of texture type going on. I can't tell what type texture that is, but it gives some type of, and I think that's the point. I think that's the point. I think that whatever the material of her dress is made out of, I think it's meant to give like a illusionary type of texture where you can't tell if it's denim, suede, polyester, whatever, because it's like a camouflaging. It's not camouflage printed, but it's just a texture of it. The way that it looks, it plays a trick on your mind and a trick on your eye about like what type of texture fabric it is that you're looking at. And that's how sociopaths operate. Yeah, that's how sociopaths operate, playing a trick on your mind and a trick on your eye about what it is that you're looking at. And it fucks up your sense of reality about what you're experiencing. Amongst, her hair's pulled back, she got it in a bun and all of that, looking real innocent. And it's also, I believe that it is also kind of meant to give some sort of like, symbolism of like Monica Lewinsky, on top of her name being Monica, and she is wearing blue. And I also believe that she pulled her hair back, and the style and cut of the dress kind of gives like a wholesome schoolgirl type. And I believe that she wants to appear youthful. She's trying to play on infantilism to a degree as well. So yeah, she step up there, she looking happy-go-lucky and serene, happy to represent, honey. She take the oath and all of that, and they is getting into it. Child, and she seems very confident in what she about to do. And I've been saying too that there's this energy of hubris this season. There is a very strong energy of hubris brewing through this season specifically. And the character Monica is full of that hubris, for one, as well as Ozzy, as well as Jax. They're all full of hubris in different forms, and it's showing up in different ways. And I feel like Monica is the first example of the season of the inevitable tragedy that comes from that hubris. Cause child, I ain't even gotta go through all the questions that they asked her, but Jax told her ass up on that stand, child. Told her ass up on that stand, made her feel real comfortable, was asking her all of the questions that would allow her to express her proudness of being able to protect and provide for him as his agent and all of this and that. And she comes on in with the curveball like, yeah, and what else was you providing? What else was you calling yourself protecting in the fucked up ways that you was protecting? And why you calling yourself protecting him from them when he needed to be protected from you? And she like, look, whatever he needed. Someone to speak up on his behalf, a friend, shoulder to lean on. I was everything to Ozzy Edwards. And it's so like the layering of how she's speaking on it, like a mom, like a girlfriend, like a little sister, like it's so many layers of energy transfer in her saying what she's saying. And so in the midst of this, Jax hands her a document for her to read some of her words, and she says, you can date this new white hoe if you want. But please know, I will continue to outlast all these bitches. I was your first, and I will be your last. Jax asks her who the white hoe she's talking about. Also, mind you, her face and energy has immediately shifted. And, in case you ain't know, those are words that Monica typed to Ozzy. So Jax is like, what you mean by all that? What you mean by you gonna outlast all these hoes? What you mean by you was his first? His first what? What you mean by you gonna be his last? His last what? What? And so she said, Wendy is that white hoe. Oh, all right. And she say, yeah. She taking her time saying it, but she gets to it. And she say, I was his first experience. Jax say, sexual experience. She say, yes. As the judge encourages her to go ahead and spit it out. But she got on here to spit it out, honey. She said, yes. And the crowd is murmuring. The crowd is confusion. But they is also very clear about what the fuck is coming out, honey. Because she tried to say, well, he pursued me first. Oh, absolutely not. Talking about how I built him up in this industry. We were in love. And you trying to defile something? She said, oh, Miss Wilson. Mr. Edwards was how old? Huh? He was how old? He was how old? 13, 14. Bitch, he was a child. She said he was not a child. He was a star. Watashi was star. Girl, if you don't get the hell up out of here, you black hole. Ooh, disgusting. Disgusting. And everybody in there is disgusted, distraught, disparaged, just toe up about the revelation and the reveals that is coming on up out of here. Folks is standing up, shouting, crying. And in the midst of this, that bitch fit has come back to bite because Monica is busting at the seams, about to show her shit all on this stand, child. Because in the midst, Monica is like, Monica is, trying to get up out of there. And Jack said, no. You have the right to sit there until you are excused. Now, where was you the night that Wendy went missing? She told me, don't do that. Jack said, what that is? What is don't do that? That's the name of a bar or something? The song lyric? Who that is? Sis. And so Monica just busts out, I did not kill Wendy. Jack say, who said that? Because I sure didn't. Nothing further, Your Honor. So, exotic white man steps up to do his thing. But we don't get to see all of that. We just focus in on Ozzy about to have a goddamn conniption. And we then transition outside to Monica about to have a goddamn conniption herself, all upside Jack's head. She don't get to the point of going oops upside her head, but she sure rushed her like the fuck she would have took a big ass bite out of her face or some shit. Child. So she is snapping. She like, what the fuck? How the fuck y'all gonna do to me? Having this whole narcissistic, sociopathic breakdown of it. Oh, yo, I don't even know how to hog tie people. And Ozzy step up like, hold up. Okay, hold up. You see a bad bitch coming to you. What's the hold up? I got this. And I got me. You see, I've been doing all of this. You acting like you protecting me, but this whole time I've been protecting you. You're a fucking criminal. Get the fuck about my face, you fucking child molester. She like, no. I don't want to go. Well, honey, you got to go. Jen, let me stay home. Get up out of here. And Jax intervenes and she's like, come on, Ozzy. Leave her there to fall apart and whatever it is that she made. Okay? And she just standing over there. Please. We're part of the same tribe. We're part of the same blood. We both have the same eyes. We both have the same mind. And time, we have so much to share. No way. I'm not waking up tomorrow morning and finding that Ozzy's not there. And I am telling you, Monica, the only reason you here is because Tanya Randall got pregnant and decided not to come. Paula Tink. Nah, that wraps up that scene. And now, we get our popcorn scenes to wrap up the episode. And in that, we get Lewis calling Daniel, leaving him a voicemail to let him know, hey, let's halt the stalking of Eddie, okay? I'm going to just try to let Jax get to know him for herself and find out whatever she finds out organically. All right? And he thanks him and leaves it at that. Then we get Daniel out at the bar with some man who seemed like he a reporter, blogger, a journalist, writer, something of the sort. And he got information and connections that connect informatively to the case. And he started talking about, somebody that he linked up with, and it wasn't so much of what he was talking about, but what he showed. And I feel like who he's talking about is Alex. Alex spilled some tea. And so now this guy is giving the tea to Daniel. Daniel is posturing himself like he just kind of like like a spontaneous fan follower or whatever. But yeah. So all that going on, they exchanging all of this, and so Daniel just came upon some new information potentially from Alex. So when he say it's something that he showed, it's either pictures, videos, or maybe even like some type of official, real low-key documentation of some sort. But so, as we proceed to give you R&B motherfuckers what you need, and what you need is Daniel hitting Lewis back up, telling him, hey, I know you want to stop the madness on stalking Eddie, but I don't think you want to miss this tidbit of tea that I done came upon concerning your boy Eddie. In the midst of this, we getting somebody opening a book with some junk drives in it. The pages cut to form the outline of the junk drives for the junk drives to fit in there. It looked like multiple junk drives hidden in this book in such a way. And there's a video or some pictures or something of Wendy with a belt, so I was giving like some sexy video that she in or something. So something scandalous there. So I guess that's the thing that was shown. I feel like Slash am wondering if the guy that he was with at the bar is the guy Todd that got the extra information on Eddie, because like I said, the guy was like a journalist and all some more shit. But yeah, so at the next, popcorn scene that we get, on the wrap up is where we see Bill and Sally getting into that hanky panky. And then finally, Louis strolls up on punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane, Eddie, and wants to let him know that he knows some shit that he know that he think he don't know and don't want him to know, but guess what, he know. And punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane, he is fixing his tone. And he like, look, I know that you found out some things, but please, just wait until Lou has the opportunity to tell. And so Louis is like, huh? What you mean? What you talking about, Lou? Huh? So I told y'all it's a hell of a lot of secrets going on. And again, that's why I feel like whatever it is that the quote unquote supposed sponsor was talking about, that punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane is supposedly needed to be telling Jax, it ain't got much to do with whether he is sober or not. I think that's just one small part of it. It got more to do with more shit. However, this also reveals that Louis is talking about one thing. He didn't get to say exactly what he was talking about that he found on punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane that he needed to be telling that he needed to be telling Jax, because punk ass Paul popped back talking about something about Lou. Now it's like, y'all don't do nothing but lie. And keep secrets. Damn, just say just a lie and the truth ain't in you. Just a lie and the truth ain't in you. So child, they end up having to come together, meet Jax late night on the hookup as she walk in. And tell her that her mama got cancer. And she up here about to fucking have a damn meltdown now. She's hyperventilating. She's like, what? Because what the hell? Now she done went through all of this shit just in this day alone, just had a raggedy ass day in court, and then got a stressful win in the end of things. Then get to the house and then get this information dropped on her. And then at the same time, being a person that can pick up when information is missing, when people are lying or omitting information and shit, it makes you feel incredibly crazy when you're being told the truth and other truths are still not being spoken and they need to be. And this is why Jack's fucking nervous system is fucked up. My God, today. Because this ain't even whatever it is that Louis was talking about revealing. And this is just too much. This is too much. Honey. Let me see. That's all about everything that needs to be talked about. If I elaborate on all of the things that I need to elaborate on this episode, I believe I did. And child, if I didn't, then I believe it's about that time where I remind y'all. You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man a fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Y'all go fishing, baby. And with all that being said, y'all, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quotes for the next time. And be sure to bless that comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.